And welcome back to Risky Intentions.
Welcome,
I'm your girl, Cece.
And it's your girl, Jordy. And this is the Risky Intentions podcast. Thank you guys for coming back to us. Checking us out.
Welcome for the newcomers.
Right.
If you've never been here before.
If you've never been here before, what's up?
Where you been at? Where the heck you been at? It's okay.
I really paused for a second there, but it's okay. We here.
Every week we start off with our affirmations.
Yes.
Jay, you gonna kick us off with our affirmations?
Sure. So this week I am affirming and welcoming abundance in all forms to flow to me with ease. I just want to live in abundance. I feel like I say this all the time, but genuinely and wholeheartedly, I want things in my life to just flow through me and to know that what's for me is for me, whether it's, finances, prosperity, love, career, just knowledge, getting better, getting this money, flow to me, honey. So yeah, I'm welcoming an abundance of abundance.
I love that.
Thank you.
Especially because abundance, I think a lot of people just think money, but you said in career, in love, in all spaces.
Yeah.
An abundant life isn't just about, I want money. Mm-hmm. So I think when you have that intention of moving with abundance, you really get to gather your coins in all places.
Yeah. And just really, I think in all forms, right? Like whether it's family, whether it's you yourself just abundantly growing and learning more about yourself, learning like your tics and, I'm all for getting better. So I want to live in that.
Love it. My affirmation this week is I am releasing comparisons and trusting my journey. What is the quote? It's comparison is a thief of joy. And you can't live in your joy and your happiness and your journey if you're always like comparing the what ifs of things you could have done differently, looking on the outside to others. And I think we've touched on this so many times. Living in a social media, digital era, it's easy to just look around at things, scrolling and being like, I want that, I need that. But you don't know what that person's walk looks like, and there's no sense in comparing it to your own. Yeah. Just being content with where I'm at and trusting where I'm at is in all divine, perfect timing.
Amen, amen. I love that you said the note about social media because that's where my head went with comparison.
It's so easy to do.
And I think naturally, sometimes it's like, I've really broke the habit of doing this, but I used to be a person that the first thing I did when I woke up was get on to social media.
Same.
And I think when you're constantly like drowning what's in your universe with what other people are doing, it's like, how can you not be constantly comparing yourself to others? Or just like, it's like, is that really what you want, or is it just what you think you want?
It's what's being shoved in your face and your subconscious all the time.
Yeah.
You think that's what you want rather than sitting with yourself and like, no, what do I really want and need? And
yeah.
It's a practice. Yeah. I don't know who needs to hear this, but get off your phone first thing in the morning.
Right.
Like, give yourself a solid hour or two to just marinate in your thoughts and wake all the way up.
And I think the thing with social media is that it's such a facade that like even the people that you think you're comparing to, like they're not even living like that. You know what I mean?
9 out of 10. It's all an illusion. None of it's real.
None of it's real. Life ain't real. So trusting your journey is so imperative of like your timing and
it's my walk. It's my business.
It's
only.
your journey. There's no right or wrong way of getting there.
Yeah,
you know
and I'm
mean?
enjoying my journey. Overall,
yeah.
Like, I'm not going to steal my happiness away by comparing to something else. Like, my shit's cool over here.
And that's the cool thing about, like, you think about a journey or you think about, like, arriving to, whether it's purpose, whether it's whatever, it's, like, the meantime, right? Like, the in-between time of, like, oh, wow, I was always so focused on this end goal that I didn't stop to smell the roses and be present to really appreciate, like...
You're standing in last year's, like...
bliss.
Yeah, last year's prayers. You're probably standing in them.
Yeah.
And you need to take a moment to just enjoy them. So I'm releasing comparisons and trusting my journey.
Trust that shit, girl.
Oh, what's the tea?
Girl, I think you got the tea this
Oh,
week.
the tea is hot and it's messy and it's awful, actually.
Yeah.
But I really do commend this girl, Cameron Swanson.
Speak on it.
Tyga's girlfriend, for coming out and just saying what it is. Not protecting this man out of fear or backlash or whatever, because I'm sure she's still going to get that from ignorant people. But she went public and said that she's been emotionally, mentally, and physically abused by him. Wow. And then she posted a picture with her black eye, which was intense, awful. Really bad. And then text messages from her to him saying, like, you know, just, wow, I couldn't believe you would do something like
kind
this.
Kind of like confirming it.
Yeah, and he responds. So it's like, I don't know if she did that being smart, like, I'm going to press charges, but damn, he answered and admitted it. However, he did voluntarily turn himself into LAPD, which is like, duh, buddy. Unless you want to go on the run, and that's another charge. But he is facing felony charges for domestic violence.
Fuck.
Yeah.
That's awful. I remember when I saw it, looking through the comments, and people, like, there was one comment that was just like, I'm with Tyga all the time, and, like, I just want to say, like, I'm not saying she's lying, but, you know, I've never seen this girl and it's just like,
that's what I mean.
Why does somebody have to lie? Or, like, Soulja Boy, and this is not even funny, but Soulja Boy was like, oh, Tyga, like, why, like, you did that? Da-da-da. And it's like, nigga, you was beating your baby, like, ex-girlfriend or whoever she is.
I mean, I saw it and I was like, Tyga? Like, I don't put anything past anyone. Yeah. But certain stories about certain celebrities, you're kind of like, no shocker there. Like, when the baby hit somebody, I was like, yeah, not surprised. Not surprised at all. Tyga was kind of like, okay. Yeah. Granted, and there's no excuse for abuse in any way, shape, or form. I'm like, curious, what's the backstory? How long has this been going on? Because she said mentally, physically, emotionally, and so this is her first time speaking out, which takes a lot of courage. Yeah. Especially just to put yourself on blast, basically. Yeah. But apparently, he's not a good guy.
That's crazy. I feel so bad for, it's just like a bad week for their little family, him and Black China, like, between her being in the airport,
wilding, clearly
under the influence.
Looking like a little cocaine. Like, somebody posted, it was like, cocaine is a hell of a drug.
It was awful. Just her body language, everything was like so cringy.
Why you got on sunglasses inside? Anytime it's got sunglasses on inside, I'm like, so you're fucked up.
Right. Yeah, but poor baby.
Yeah.
Their poor son.
Have to deal with two crazy parents. That must be a shit show. Yeah, poor baby. For real. And I just feel like when a man's abusive to a woman to the point where you punch her, black eye situation, like, you need some serious therapy, healing, whatever that looks like. Whoever taught you that behavior, you need to unlearn it quick, fast, and in a hurry.
Yeah. There's never an excuse.
It's like, get yourself together. Like, I don't even think it's okay to punch, like, same sex. Like, if you, like, fighting is just played out. Yeah. As an adult. Like, what's wrong with you?
Yeah. You need to figure out other...
Why are you laughing at me?
Because you started to smile and it just made me laugh. I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm just happy.
Fighting is so played out, and it's just like channeling that energy
elsewhere. Like, get you a punching bag. What the hell?
Yeah. Any man that just abuses women is like, you're trash.
You're pretty trash, and you need help. You need Jesus.
Or
something.
Let's get into our cocktail this week.
Let's get into it.
So my cocktail is actually around the new law that actually just became law in California, banning non-consensual sex, or non-consensual condom removal, which I actually learned too. California is the first place that this has become law, which is mind-blowing to me. Literally so mind-blowing. And I feel like, you know, who hasn't had an experience where it's like, oh, so you just did that?
Yeah.
And it's
especially, like, heat of the moment, drunk, whatever, I'm sure it happens more times.
It's never okay.
Than people even realize,
But also, again, with the comments, it was so, like, the rape culture, the norm, the, like, comfortability of men thinking that it's okay to do that was, again, mind-blowing. Just like, how do you think that that's ever
like,
okay?
man, it's not that big a deal. Like, we're already having sex. Like, okay, but this was the circumstances. These were the like the basically the rules I set. Like, sure, we can have sex, but this is how I'm planning on protecting myself. And you're just saying, like, forget how you feel.
Yeah.
Fuck your body. Like, I'm gonna do what I want to do.
Right. Just over here spreading. But there's all types of diseases. I think it's so much bigger than just, like, you can unknowingly have something that you just passed along to me that I didn't give you consent over. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do better.
I'm glad, and it's sad that we have to make laws about, like, body autonomy and stuff, but I'm glad this protects us, even though it's so hard for people to prove things like this, or, like, this is why a lot of people don't report rape and stuff, just, like, the process you have to go through. Yeah. Like, they need DNA, and it's like, someone already violated me right there. Do I want to have some doctors and people all up in my coochie now? Right. But I hope this helps give people some peace of mind and make people think twice. Like, don't be an asshole.
And don't think that that's ever okay.
It's never okay.
Yeah. I don't know who raised you. Wolverines.
Wolves.
Just a mess.
Let's get into our trife life.
Okay.
This wasn't about one specific situation, but several people, I think, currently in my life have been dating or dealing with someone or situationship or whatever.
I see where this is going.
And a lot of times are in these situations feeling like they're in a relationship.
Right.
But then the partner is gaslighting them and, like, making it very clear, like, no, I don't want to be in a relationship with you. Saying they don't want to be in a relationship, but acting like they're still in one.
Honey child.
And like they want to be in one. And it's very confusing, and I think it's 1,000% considered gaslighting.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are like, what does gaslighting even mean?
Yeah.
That right there. Saying you don't want something, but then acting another way is gaslighting.
Or just exactly, like, saying, like, oh my God, I would never do that. Or trying to, like, manipulate a person in a way that's like, no. You're confused. You're this.
Yeah, or we're not together, so why are you tripping on me right now? Like, well,
your actions are
been
otherwise.
up my ass for the last week and a half, or we're going on dates, we're sleeping together.
Right.
So I think it's pretty trifling, but also a little bit on both parts, because I think at some point you gotta draw the line.
You have to take accountability. I'm huge on accountability, and I think I have found myself in situations, one in particular, oh God, it's like dating somebody younger than me. I'm like, no, I don't want a relationship, whatever. And then, you know, a year later, whatever, dates later, going to church with you later, meet, like, Sunday dinners with your family.
It's like, this is getting real, like, relationship-y.
Oh, yeah, and then it's, and obviously, I mean, at that point, we were in a relationship, I guess you could say, but never really, like, did the whole, like, will you be my girlfriend thing. Just kind of like, oh, you know you're my girl. Like, you know.
Yeah, but it's like, do I know?
But do I know? And when everything transpired and whatever, and it turned out that he was a frog, it was just like, oh, well, you knew I didn't want a relationship, or you knew that I was afraid of commitment, or whatever.
Then stop bringing me to your Nana's house. Because now I like Big Shirley.
Not Nanny.
And I got to see her every Sunday.
Right. Right. So, yeah, I mean, I think that there is a little bit of the responsibility goes to the person that's doing it, right? Because obviously, listen, we're human. I think at the end of the day, we're human, right? So not to say that it's okay behavior, but I think that sometimes things do get slippery. Things do get whatever. And again, maturity and being able to communicate how you're feeling, when there's something going on, when you're feeling indifferent, let somebody know. But also, too, like, I think we as people, too, need to, like, hold ourselves accountable, look out for the red flags.
Set your boundaries and look out for the red flags.
Yeah, and when somebody tells you something, especially, like, I don't want a relationship.
Believe it.
Maybe listen to them. Maybe, like, for that second, I'm going to take what you're saying into consideration because this is what you're telling me.
And not fantasizing something else.
Ooh,
I think
honey.
if someone's not dating with purpose and you are,
there's a problem.
There's going to be a disconnect
there's a problem.
there. I don't think it's fair for somebody to keep dragging you along. But I've definitely been kind of that person before where I was like, I don't want to be with you, but it's like, but I still like you. Like, I still want to deal with you. And it definitely creates a gray, confusing area.
Exactly. And I'm sure that most, like, at the thick of it, the core of it, you probably do enjoy the person, right? You probably do like certain things about the person or whatever. Maybe it's bad timing, which is totally fine and it's normal. It's life.
But let somebody
know. Yeah.
For somebody who wants the same things. It's like, stop holding people emotionally hostage.
Oof.
That's fucked up.
And exactly, like, don't say I want this one thing, and then next week you're like, so what's up? Where you at?
Here's your flowers, and here's the dinner.
Go out. Let's have sex. Like, nah.
So you my boyfriend.
So you want to love me? Which,
like, I don't care what they're talking about, because then women, especially, we will make it up in our mind. Like, I don't care what they're saying. Especially if you want to believe it. Especially if it's something that you want. Like, they so crazy.
They crazy.
Anyways,
they love me.
That's my husband, and he don't even know it.
He's still calling, and it's
that's
like
my
toxic.
Girl.
Toxic.
She be tripping sometimes, but that's my girl.
You're toxic. You need help. Ooh. Seek therapy.
Seek therapy. Let people go. Meet people where they are at and where you're at.
Yes, honey. Let's get into
speaking about where we're at and where we gonna be at. We wanted to talk about living with purpose this week. I was actually really, really excited to talk about this.
Yeah, I'm hoping that it's not going to be an emotional episode.
I know. I was hoping I don't cry too. Shit.
It's just one of those. I think so much. You think living in your purpose, living, you know, it's something that you're supposed to arrive at, right? And I think that purpose is something that each and every day, it's like the way that you walk, the way that you envision yourself showing up for that self. It means truly being in line with your values and your beliefs, and making sure that when something doesn't feel right or feels a little out of, you know, whack, like this isn't where I really want to be, knowing and having the courage and being brave enough to say and release and walk away from those situations.
Yeah, like this doesn't align with my purpose, my highest good, my favorite self, or...
Yeah.
And I think I've been thinking more about this as I approach 30.
Oof.
My birthday is coming up, and I'm like... I guess I did have a whole vision of myself at 30, and my life looks nothing like that vision.
Yeah.
And it's not in a negative way. I think just as I keep going, I'm like, no, this is where I'm supposed to be. And it feels good, and it's exciting, and sure, sometimes it's nerve-wracking. I'm like, does this align with me? Am I walking, you know, the footsteps that are already paved for me, but that I want to walk, you know? What does walking in your purpose mean to you?
I think it's exactly that. I think that it's walking in alignment. You know what I mean? Like, knowing, if you know deep down in your heart, like, you were at a job, you were in a relationship, you were with a person, like, it could be anything, right? So I guess so many people relate their purpose with what they do for a living. And I think that that's a big misconception about purpose, because you know, you were not your job, you were not your circumstances, you were not the person that you're with. Your purpose is very much so like tied into destiny for me. And I think that like purpose, you know what I mean, I think it kind of looks different with every person, and I think it will always look different in different phases of your life. The more that you evolve, the more that your capacity grows. It's like, oh wow, okay, I can fathom this.
And your purpose, I think, can change over time. It's like,
absolutely.
You know, as, you know, maybe a parent, that portion of your baby's life, you feel like that's so much of your purpose. But your purpose isn't just tied to your relationships and your career. It's like, overall, who do I want to be? What do I want to give back to the world, I think, as a whole? And
I think that's exactly, I love that. Because I think that your purpose is like the legacy that you leave behind.
Yeah, definitely. To me, walking in your purpose is finding your authentic power, living with intention and gratitude, and following your bliss. I think when all those things come together and you're like comfortable in them, you are walking the walk. I think your authentic power is knowing your worth and adding tax, taking up space. Like,
yeah. And have you ever had experiences where it's like, oh my God, I didn't even want to go to this thing. I didn't even want to do this or whatever. And it's like a life-altering or a life-changing experience that's happening that you were completely going to be like oblivious to. But because you opened yourself up to it, and you opened yourself up to like an opportunity to grow, to evolve, to just welcome abundance.
And then you realize afterwards, like oh shit, this was kind of
cool.
part of my purpose right here.
Yeah.
And that's where I think living intentionally and with gratitude is important too. Just being mindful of the why. Why do you do things? Like, because we can do stuff all day, but it's like, why am I even doing any of this? I think when you know your why behind what you're doing, you feel more aligned.
Yeah.
You're not just doing stuff and you're like, where am I going? It ends up being this spiral. And being mindful where you're spending your time, even where you're spending your money. Like, does this align with my core values and beliefs? That's what you started saying. Your purpose is things that align with your beliefs and your morals.
And if you have to like stop and like do a inventory check every 5 seconds or hour or whatever of like, wait, but does this big picture? Okay, but this big picture, this person, this relationship, this, whatever. And if there's something that seems, again, out of whack, out of balance, then like having a second to stop and think and like really question it.
Yeah.
It's just acknowledging it. And I think when you walk with intention, when you walk in intentionality and knowing, like, again, my steps are ordered, it's like there's nothing that's out of coincidence. You know what I mean? It's like everything is tied together for my good.
Yes, everything works together for the greater good.
Yeah.
Is that the...
All things working together for my good.
All things work together for the greater good. And they do. And that's why I think the last part of walking, for me, of walking in your purpose is finding your bliss, following your bliss.
Yeah. Yeah. And it could be
doing what makes you happy.
What you enjoy doing, whether that is cooking, whether that is caregiving, whether that is, being a voice of reason to people or being,
do the self-care things, like feed your inner child, dance around in the mirror, like stuff like that. And even making life-changing choices. I feel like right now my mom's been an example of following your bliss right now. It's like she's moving cities. She's been here in LA for 30 some years, and she's just following her bliss. She feels a life change, going with it. Take the trip, move the city, buy the car, like
whatever you need to do to feed your bliss, do it.
Go with it.
And I feel like don't feel bad about it. I think that so many people think that I'll get to purpose after I get this promotion. I'll get to my purpose after I'm married. I'll get to my purpose after I have children.
Yeah, that don't align with the purpose.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's like you don't have to go anywhere in order to get your purpose. It's within. And I think that when you can like tap into that and know, like just knowing the things that make you happy, whether it's like over quarantine, I realized like I love cooking. I never cooked before, but it's like
cook, baby. I don't know what you were doing because you can cook.
But it's just like you never know what things, and I think that's the biggest thing with purpose, right? Is like your purpose is tied to other things. There's a ripple effect that happens with your purpose in other people. It's connected to everyone. It's generational. It's for your children and your children's children.
Yeah, your purpose is not just a one thing, place, time. It's like a ever evolving thing that you create for yourself, in yourself, to share.
Yeah. Oh, and I think too, just like trusting it and not being afraid to dream, right? I was listening to this podcast with Ashley Blaine Featherston from Dear White People, and she was saying that dreams need a little bit of an element of surprise. You know what I mean? Like if you've ever paid attention to your dreams, there's always something that's a little like not exactly how you saw it going to plan. And I think it's because God has like this idea of like bigger, better, Nothing that we can even fathom in our heads can, like, we think too small. We need to dream bigger.
We do.
You know what I mean?
Dream the biggest life possible.
Yeah. Yeah. And I feel like I never want to leave this earth thinking, like, did I leave a stone unturned? Did I do something? Was there something that I should have done that I didn't, or I didn't explore? And it's not to say that your purpose can't be like multiple things. You know what I mean? I think people
I absolutely feel
all
like
the time
mine is multiple things.
Yeah. Like, don't get pigeonholed.
And there's things that have just like kind of came up in my life that I'm like, oh wow, like this is what I'm supposed to be working with and cultivating more of.
Yeah. Yeah. So just trusting it, listening to that, and not stopping what God has destined for you. You know what I mean? Like, they say so often, like, you know, and I hate to even like, oh, God, because, but it is so much of me, I guess.
I mean, that's part of your morals and your values. I feel like I definitely came from a church background, so like God is important to me, but I also practice a lot of like, I don't even know what we're going to call them, woo-woo things people like to call it, but like a lot of healing practices that like here working with like the universe and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's just where my world collides. Like,
yeah, but I feel like for us church folks, it's like God knowing you before you were formed in your mother's womb. It's like you have purpose. You have intention in your life.
Like this was already written for you.
And exactly. Your life is already written. You're just kind of reading it out loud.
Yes.
You know?
Say it again.
Your life was already written for you. You're just reading it out loud.
I love that. Wow.
Yeah.
She a poet.
Get crazy. Get crazy with
Get crazy. Dream big. Like, feed your soul. Feed your happiness.
If you were looking for a sign to do this something crazy, this
Here's
is it.
Sign.
This is
You're
it.
welcome.
Please do it. Don't be afraid of failure. In fact, hurry up and fail.
I think failure brings you so much closer to your purpose.
Yeah.
I think all my fails that got me here, I appreciate them now. In the moment, you're like, oh, this is crumbling.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nothing is working. Nothing makes sense. But I think the more times you fail, the more tools you get in your little tool bag to like move forward and like not, hopefully, face those same situations and like grow.
Yeah. I think that understanding that your purpose is tied to the universe, being conscious of the universe and this engagement between people and place and everything. I want to get into 7 steps of living in your purpose.
Oh, yes. Give us 7 steps of living in your purpose.
7 steps of living in your purpose. So, step 1, understand what life should feel like. And this can be anything, right? The relationships that you have, the way you want to be loved, the way you want to love, the way you want to treat others, the way you want to internally feel. And when you're moving in your purpose and you see like, dang, this is cozy. I like this.
Those sweet spot moments. Like,
those sweet
more of that.
spot moments. Please like engage in that further. And tapping into your calling within. Everybody, I think, naturally has things like, oh, I'm good at that. Whether it's singing, whether it's cooking, whether it's dancing, whether it's, whatever. Mm-hmm. Tap into that. Spend more time in that.
I think even if it's something that's just keeps kind of like interesting you, and you kind of keep thinking about it and you don't act on it. Yeah. Because that might be something deeper, or you'll fail at it and realize in some other weird way it'll lead you towards your purpose. But I think living with the woulda, coulda, shouldas, and not tapping into what you feel called to is like, you're doing a disservice to yourself, really.
Right. Step 3 is trust yourself and forget what others think. I think so often we move through life with the idea of rejection, with the idea of disappointing people, or not, just whether it's a boss of like, oh my God, I don't want to let them down, or I don't want to disappoint anyone, I don't want to look stupid. It's all a disservice to yourself. So get the naysayers, get that fear, release that anxiety, and go for it. Life's too short.
It's too short.
And people gonna talk shit regardless.
They gonna talk. No matter what, people want to talk.
Forget about what people think. I think so often, like, for so long, I held on to, like, my mother, my grandmother's opinions of, like...
Oh, of course.
And it's just a different day and age. They come from a place of love, but there's some things that they just don't understand.
Right.
Right? So when you can stop thinking so much about what other people want for you and just completely, like, not completely tune it out, because I don't think that it's coming from a place of ill will.
Yeah, advice is, like, nice.
Yeah.
And we'll take it with a grain of salt.
But also just, like, but making sure that you're listening to your intuition first. You can't listen to someone else's intuition.
Right.
Step 4 is feel the fear and take that leap of faith anyways. Step 5, rethinking your to-do list. I think so many times, like, people forget about the action. Like, it takes action. And even with to-do lists, it's like setting goals for yourself, whether it's weekly goals, monthly goals, and not necessarily getting so fixated on the to-do list. If to-do lists don't work for you, maybe doing, like, a gratitude list or doing something different of, like, rephrasing it in your mind and rephrasing it as a whole, I think makes a big difference of just the way that you have to figure out your what works for you. I guess that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Check in with yourself daily.
Vibe
check.
How do I feel? Why do I feel like this?
What does this mean? Why am I feeling like this?
And even if you can't get quite to the why, observing it.
Yeah.
Okay, I feel like this. Not sure why.
Yeah.
But that's how we feel.
Yeah.
And not, like, judging yourself for those
so
feelings,
harshly.
But, like, check in. Where am I at today?
I think it's exactly that, because I think we think, like, oh, no, I'm tripping, or it's this, and it's like, you're feeling it for a reason. Like, trust yourself.
Even if it feels crazy.
And sometimes it's like, something was telling me. Something kept eating at me.
Mm-hmm. And there's days I feel just nuts. I'm like, what are all these feelings?
All these feels.
Sensitive, irritated, whatever.
Yeah.
And then you just check it.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah.
Hey, irritation girl.
What's up?
How you doing?
What's up? How your mama and Step 7, recognize that you have everything that you need. What our good sis Erykah Badu say? I was born underwater with $3 and 6 times. We have everything that we need. Everything.
Full 360. Full circle.
We have everything we need. Ooh, 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 ooh. That's the Kanye song. You have everything that you need right in front of you. You don't have to dig too deep to find purpose. It's in you. It's not in you. It's not on you. It's in you.
Purr.
And
I think my 3 things to consider kind of intertwine with yours, because that's how we do. Mm-hmm. We always go together like peanut butter and jelly. 3 things to consider when you want to walk in your person. Your person
or your purpose?
Your purpose, but your
purse.
person also.
I thought you were saying purse.
When you want to walk in your purpose. Let go of your plan. Know when it's okay to move on. It's not called giving up. Like, if something's not serving you, it's okay to move around.
Yeah.
Move on. Flow what's meant flow to something else.
Yeah.
If it doesn't feel right with you, it's probably for a reason. If it feels like a tug of war for too long, you might need to, like, navigate things differently. So it's okay to move on from things.
Yeah.
Or let go of the plan and just kind of...
I love that let go of the plan, because we get so caught up of, like, especially if you have a control problem, it's like,
hey, it's me.
No.
Control freak.
You know, I don't, this isn't how I envisioned it. This isn't right. This is this. And it's like nothing, again, your dreams should have that little element of surprise. Everything's not going to go the way that you plan it. And it may have a little bit of elements of, like, oh, I this is important to me. This is this and whatever. But your plan, it's life is so unpredictable and change is inevitable. So, like, thinking it's going to go one linear straight line.
It's not linear. Like, this life is not linear. It is a roller coaster, okay?
Honey.
There's some loops and twirls.
And hoops.
Right up ahead.
Right.
Another thing to consider is separate your identity from your purpose. And you mentioned this earlier, and that's why I was smiling at you.
Yeah.
Because we allow our who to be defined by our do. So it's like, who I am is my career or the organization I'm affiliated with. And that's not your purpose. That's not who you are. It's a part of your life. It's part of something that you do.
Yeah.
But it's not who you are. It's, even if you're a teacher, you're not like, oh, my purpose is, I'm a teacher, so that's my purpose. It's like, maybe your purpose is to be a lending ear. Yeah. To explain things to others, to shed light to other people. It's like, but that wouldn't be your only
And it's
purpose.
don't get so caught up on the who and the how.
Mm-hmm. And I think we come from such an era too of people who are like, oh, what do you do? Yeah. And people feel so defined by that. Yeah. Oh, well, what do I do?
It's almost like it's that instant like how am I gonna judge you? How am I gonna place you in society? Yeah. How can I like, how am I gonna respect you? How am I gonna,
and it sucks because your purpose is so much bigger and further and past that. It's like, I feel like that's why it's important to show the same respect to the president as you would the waitress. You know what I'm saying? And I think a lot of people,
they don't do that.
They don't do that or see that. Like, you don't allow your who to be defined by your do. And lastly, enjoy the wait. Yeah. Enjoy the wait in discovering your purpose. Like, all these motions you're going through are leading you there.
It's all already intentional.
And I think a lot of times we don't stop and smell the roses and enjoy the moment that we're in. I read something earlier. It was like, you're currently standing in last year's prayers. Yeah. And it's so true. And, like, there's 1,000,001 things you could probably stress on or think about. Yeah. But if you really stop and take a moment and be like, look back and see how far you've come. Yeah.
There was something.
You're getting closer.
I was listening to a podcast, and the guy Tony Robbins, I think it's Tony Robbins, and he was saying how most people think about their past and not the present and the future. So you're constantly in a like dwelling state, and most people worry about what's wrong rather than what's right. And so you're just constantly you're self-inflicting this pain onto yourself of misery, really. Yeah. And you don't have to live there. You don't have to be there.
You can totally just choose to not live there in your mind.
Yeah, the mind is
like, this world's pretty shitty, so don't make your mind a shitty place also.
Yeah, I agree. Let's get into our intentions.
That was beautiful.
I know, friend.
Find your purpose. Find your bliss, y'all.
Yeah, please do. And listen, if you are not there yet, today, tomorrow, next week, next month, next year, that's okay. It's okay.
But you're on the way.
You're on the way.
You are on the way.
Trust yourself. Trust the universe. Be good to yourself. Treat yourself well. Be patient with yourself. Be kind to yourself. And just know that everything is kind of working for your good.
It is. And with that being said, let's get into our intentions. How are we going to intentionally move this week?
So my intention is I intend to release people and spaces that I have outgrown for the sake of being comfortable. Naturally, I think that...
This one feels deep. Hold on.
Yeah. Yeah. It's time. It's
Release
time.
It.
You know that you ever been in situations or talking to people and you're just like there and it's like, yeah, it just doesn't fit anymore. Yeah, it's like pants that just like I can't zip them up anymore. Like they don't fit anymore. And it's uncomfortable.
It's uncomfortable.
It's like it's either you or me, and unfortunately I can't. You know, I think people think like, oh my God, you know, I've been here for so long. It's been a friend of mine for so long, or pretending that you're happy when you're really hurting. It goes deep, and when you discard your boundaries in the sake of making other people comfortable, you're doing a disservice to yourself.
Yeah. There's no reason to have to shrink yourself smaller to fit a situation. It's like it's okay to outgrow things.
Yeah. You're supposed to. Your taste buds should change.
I like that. Release them, sis. Let them go.
R.I.P.
My intention this week is I intend to see the goodness in all things around me. I think it's just
tough.
so much. It's tough. You know, it's easier to see all the negatives around you, to harp on that, and to be upset. But I think it's once you start observing those negative thoughts, observing how you're taking in negative things around you, it's easier to shift into a positive mindset. And it's just, it feels better. It feels so much better to your soul. Like, you feel that negative thought coming, you're like, we're not on that. Moving right along. Yeah. You see something negative on your phone, you can soak that in or you can dismiss it.
That's big on accountability too. You know what I mean? Of the space that you're allowing into your universe. Yeah. Because I feel like it's that split second. It's like you choose happiness, and you can also, on the flip side of it, choose to
you have a split second to decide.
Yeah. To be like,
where we're gonna fall with
it's
this.
It's like, am I gonna move in this? Because you can. That's cool. If that's what you want.
And some days I catch myself like, oh, look at her. You've been a negative Nancy for half the day. Yeah. And in that moment, let's switch it. Yeah. It just makes the world around you feel lighter and happier. And I feel like that's a big part of my purpose. So I want to walk in that. And I just want to see all the goodness around me, because there is goodness. Yeah. There is. There really is.
Yeah. There is goodness if you let it be.
If you open yourself up to it. So. Yeah. That's it.
I like that.
Yeah. I hope this touched somebody in the heart, right in the heart. Leave us a comment,
like,
a rating,
subscribe,
a review,
any of the above.
We'd love to hear some feedback. How y'all feeling?
Yeah.
Are you out there listening?
Hello.
What was your favorite part? How are you walking in your purpose?
Yeah.
I think at some point I definitely want to like really interact with our listeners in some way. Yeah. Maybe like a weekly
IG live or something.
Or we answer questions from you guys.
Oh, that would be so fun.
If you want to know what Jordy and Cece would do or how we feel, leave us a line somewhere. Slide us a DM. Yeah. I'm into it.
I'm into that too.
I'm open to it.
Let's do it, y'all.
So, yeah.
Thank you guys so much again for watching this week of Risky Intentions. It's been your girl, Jordy.
And Cece.
And bye.
Bye.